Welcome everyone, Guns and Gear Network. We are in part 2 of our series about night vision and equipment. Now, as you all know, I try being budget friendly, so most everything I do that is somewhat affordable to most everyone. And I think it's important that we all prepare in our lives, and some people are on limited budgets. So if I can find high value items that I feel like I can share with you guys, that's what I try bringing as much as possible. Again, some things are just out of reach for everybody. A lot of people can't afford a Colt 6920 AR and spend 2 grand on it with all the accessories or whatever the case may be. Um, but this series here is going to go over some night vision and capabilities and the equipment. And if you follow it, go back. If you missed part 1, go to part 1, and I'll annotate part 1 where you can go back if you missed it, and kind of just talking briefly about night vision in general and what it's capable of. So today we're going to talk about equipment, but I'm going to go at first we're going to kind of do a tabletop review of one piece of equipment, and then I'm going to brief over some other equipment, and then kind of tie it all in together in video 3. So what I went with was the Gen 1 style technology night vision, and I went with the Sightmark 1x24 Ghost Hunter goggle kit. Now, I talked about Gen 1, so I won't go over that in this part, but I want to go over this specific one. This one's a 1x24, and what I want to do is I'm going to read what is on Sightmark's website for you guys, and it reads the following. The Sightmark Ghost Hunter 1x24 night vision goggle kit delivers a high quality image and resolution that illuminates the darkest night with maximum visibility. The monocular is equipped with a head mount for comfortable, long lasting, hands free operation when flipped down, and can be flipped up when not in use. The monocular has a 1x magnification that allows the user to maintain depth perception and view images clearly while navigating, and features a built-in IR illuminator for extra range in dark situations. Included is an automatic shutoff feature which turns off the unit when exposed to bright light sources, ensuring years of operation. Protected by a 3-year warranty on the tube and Sightmark's limited lifetime warranty on the housing. The Ghost Hunter 1x24 vision goggle kit is engineered to meet the highest requirements and standards of the serious night vision user. Alright, so a little bit about the unit. You just heard that. Also, this thing weighs about 8.8 ounces, and the battery life is 20 hours when you're running the IR light, 72 hours without the IR light. Now, here's what I'm going to, on battery life, plan on about 20 hours or less, because you're going to run the IR illuminator quite a bit with a Gen 1. The battery compartment goes here. Now, some of this stuff you're going to see on this unit, it did not come with it, and I'll explain that as we go. This ring here did not come on this unit, and this J-arm did not come on this unit. Those were purchased separately. It takes 2 AA batteries, which I like. It's not it's a common battery found in any convenience store, drugstore, Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, anywhere. So I like that. It has a simple on-off push button and an IR push button. The IR illuminator is here. The objective lens is here. The ocular lens is on the back side. This is the end you look in. It also has this protective cap. This protective cap is designed to leave on when you are in lighted or lit situations, whether it be daylight or any of that. Keep that on your unit at all times. These tubes do degrade over time. From my research, you're going to get about 1,500 to 2,000 hours of life out of the tube. Now, does that mean if I leave this thing sitting for 10 years or whatever the case, however I can get to 1,500, 2,000 hours, that all of a sudden it's going to explode or it's going to just not work? No. What that means is constant use of about 1,500 to 2,000 hours. So if you're not using it, it's not getting used up as far as the tube life. Also, you can shorten the life of tubes by exposing it to bright lights, and that could be campfires, Could be artificial light of any type, sunlight, that sort of thing. So keep this cap on. It also has a pinhole here specifically for use at, if you want to use it in, daylight. So you could see through it if you needed to because of this pinhole. The IR illuminator, and I'll cut it on real quick for you. Let's see here. When you cut this, let's see, it's on. All right, there you go. Now this IR illuminator in this camera looks white. It's actually red, so it glows kind of a red glow. Cut off there. It also has a green LED indicator back here to let you know the unit is on. So if you cut it off, and this is kind of a clicky, these are rubber coated here. This housing is kind of a polymer plastic. It's not like, it doesn't feel cheap at all. It feels like a polymer, like you would see a lot of the gun frames are made of now. So that's kind of what it feels like. This back here is kind of rubbery, so it's kind of grippy and kind of cushiony for your eye. Let's see, kind of see there what it's going to look like. And that's looking through that little bitty pinhole too, when you look through there, but kind of give you some idea. Now, this comes with a halo style head harness. Now, I opted not to use that. I went with a helmet mount, and we'll discuss that as we go through this series of videos. The harness mount, I wanted a helmet mount. That was what I wanted with. I figured if I did not use the helmet, or I didn't want to use the helmet, I would literally just put this on a lanyard or whatever the case may be, and I would use it as a handheld unit. Simple and easy. Just look through it, set it down, put it in my pocket, or like I said, put it on a lanyard, just hanging around your neck, whatever the case may be. I just opted not to use this. Now, with that said, tell you a little trick here. These units come in at around the $300 or less range. You can, I think I paid $229 for this unit, and well, I'll tell you a little trick to get some of your money back, actually, to help fund some of this other equipment I'm going to talk about. These head harnesses, if you look on places like eBay, they sell for $100 by themselves just for that head harness. I started, when I would buy a unit, I would just take this head harness and put it back on eBay and sell it. So normally I list them for about $75. I've sold them as cheap as $65 recently on one of the units that I sold off. And so that's a little trick there. If you're not going to use this, if it's just going to sit in a closet and you're never going to use it, by all means, sell it and get rid of it. They're okay, comfortable. They're not the greatest. I tried wearing it. It was fine. If somebody wants that and didn't want to go through the helmet and look all tactical and so forth, my thing is comfort. And I just think the helmet was just much more comfortable. And so, all right, so let's talk about mounts a little bit, because that's where some of the confusion came in with me. There's a lot of information about Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, and how they compare and so forth. What really confused me was how to mount this crazy thing. And so I wound up doing a helmet mount, and these are military items. This is the Rhino mount, and this is a J-arm. Now, there was no real clarity on the internet during reviews or anything that what would work with what. And here's the deal. Before you sell off your head harness, there's a piece, this thumb wheel, which is, I'll show you in the picture, it's right here. That's what attaches directly to your unit. A lot of times I sell these head harnesses if I'm going to sell them without this unit, without this thumb wheel, and the reason is because I use it on this here. The thread pattern may be the same, may not, depends on what you buy. The thread pattern on the original, what came with the J-arm, just did not match up like I liked. I think it probably would have worked, but I know this thread pattern works because it came from the factory that way. So what I did was I took this off the original one off the J-arm, and then took this one off the head harness and just switched them out. So keep that in mind. All right, so how does it attach? And I'm going to show you this helmet, and we're going to go into some details exactly about this helmet. So what you're looking at on this helmet here, you have a mount here. So you have to have this mount whether it be on this directly mounted to a helmet, or they also, and I have one that it mounts here on most any helmet, and it has two hooks that go under here, and it has a strap that goes across the back, and then it attaches in the back side of the helmet, and then it ratchets down. So there's a couple different ways to mount them. You could take a generic helmet, possibly a skateboard helmet, if you didn't want to buy this mount and drill holes. You can find a military style ratchet. Some people list them as Mitch night vision, MICH, which is a Mitch helmet. Night vision device, and like I said, it has two kind of hooks that come around here that go underneath this edge, and then it has this sort of, it's similar to the look of this piece but not exact, and then like I said, it has a strap that goes around and attaches in the back. So keep that in mind. So you got that style, and you also have this. The way this works, this it has a little lip there, and it simply clamps in. Okay, so again, this piece goes to a helmet or the other style. You have to have that piece first, then you have to have this piece. Then you have to have what's called a J-arm. And the J-arm attaches right there. The only other piece that's in the puzzle is this thumb wheel screw that attaches to your night vision. Now, this night vision has two separate mounting spots, one here and one here. Depends on how you're mounting it. Like, let's say I was mounting this on a rifle, because they do, Sightmark does make a mount for a rifle. So like I would mount it on this bottom piece, and it's not this top, because I wouldn't want it flipped over like that. In other words, it would be flipped over like that on a rifle. That wouldn't work. So we would run it here, and then it would attach on the bottom. So there's some versatility here with this Sightmark unit. But that's what it looks like, and this flips up out of your way like that. Now, when you get your, if you buy this, now I will tell you, I got lucky. I found this J-arm and this Rhino mount at a gun show. I paid $20 for both pieces. That was a pretty good deal. In my opinion, it was close to half off, because normally I see J-arms for about 20 and these Rhino units 20, 25. So I felt like I got a good deal. So if you look around, guys, you can find this stuff at a pretty good deal. All right, so let's talk about the adjustments. Once this thing is on your helmet, and I'll show you a couple things here, and that was a good example. Let me get this back down. All right, so a few things, little tricks. If you look here on the bottom of this, I have this little piece of rubber. The reason that is there, it's a shim, and this, when it snaps in here, can be occasionally a little loose, so you get a little wobble with that shim, which that's just, again, a piece of inner tube that I cut down square and then glued it to that piece. That's just a shim. So you can look, and if you look here on this where it tightens, this rubber gasket in here was worn when I bought it. I went and bought another O-ring and was able to tighten this. That's kind of, again, a shim that tightens the whole system up, so it keeps it from wobbling quite as bad. Then if you have on the J-arm here, for a PVS 14, I'm not going to take this off, there's a wire that runs in here and two connectors underneath here. It does not have anything to do with this unit, because those are specific for like the military, and I think the way they work is it's kind of a trigger switch, so when it's pulled up in the up position, it cuts off. When they pull it down, it automatically cuts it on to the on. But it also mounts here. Now this is real touchy. You could easily hit that and bump it and knock your night vision off. So what people do, you can do a couple things. They actually make specific professional designed lanyards for your night vision. So what I did was I took a piece of 550 cord, run it through my helmet, and then this piece here, this little tab piece, is what came with a Surefire flashlight. And if this looks familiar to you, that's also from the tail end of a Surefire flashlight when you're running a lanyard. So I just incorporated it into this. So now I can clip my unit, so if this is ever accidentally bumped or knocked off, it will save your night vision from hitting the ground and getting damaged. So keep that in mind. If you're going to run any of this, I would make sure you have a lanyard system, because you really don't want to drop this I don't, it depends on how it fell and so forth. You could damage it. So this right here kind of protects everything. All right, so let's talk helmets and so forth. So when I was looking to get this thing mounted to a helmet, I started getting even more confused, because you get into some helmets like the Ops Core that is really expensive. They run, any of their helmets run from about $240 to $640. It's pretty expensive for a helmet, just for, you know, if you're going to use this for hog hunting or whatever the case may be. So there was a few videos around, people talking about skateboard helmets and that, and I'll tell you, there's a company called ProTech, if you're not familiar with them. They actually make military helmets, and a lot of the specialized units, Navy SEALs, Force Recon, they use the ProTech helmets a lot of times for fast roping and that sort of thing. So they make good helmets. The problem is, they're really, when you get in night vision, they start getting wobbly. They get front heavy. So they really have to have a secure way to attach to your head. And so I got to researching around, and I found, and guys, when I mention airsoft, some people are going to wig out and talk about airsoft and pew, 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 and all that stuff. I hear you. Here's the thing. If you've got $640 or $240 to spend on a helmet, by all means, buy it. I'm just giving you a better, or at least a cheaper option. This right here is a replica of the Ops Core carbon helmet, and it is specifically marketed and sold to airsoft. However, this one is the most expensive that I found of the airsoft helmets. It's made by Emerson. That's Emerson helmet. Now, even with these helmets, again, confusion, because Emerson makes a couple different versions. They actually make two versions of this style that is two different ways that the inside is done. They have one that's a traditional skateboard style that just has the pads all in it. And then they have this style. This is called the advanced model, that actually is more designed exactly like the Ops Core, that has this adjustment here. So the way this would work is you would put this on, and then once you get it on your head, then you would tighten this down to whatever comfort you needed it at. So that's, and retention. So that's kind of how this system works. This right here, this helmet runs about $70 retail. When you're looking for these helmets, I would not buy the cheapest one you can find. Obviously, you're saving money by not buying military helmet or an Ops Core or so forth. So at least spend a little extra money if you're going to buy a helmet like this. Keep in mind, they're all bump helmets. The military uses bump helmets, guys. They use polycarbonate, plastic, if you will, helmets. Now, ballistics, no, this will not stop a bullet, and there's helmets that the military uses that won't stop bullets either. None of them really stop rifle rounds to begin with. It's mostly for shrapnel and pistol rounds. Do you need that hunting hog, or just the prepper? No, probably not. If you wanted to buy yourself here's my thing. If you can find some of the older Kevlar helmets like the Mitch style, pretty reasonable. If you decide, hey, I want a Kevlar and I want this, and if the crap is really bad and you need a Kevlar, go buy you a Mitch helmet. I've seen those things $40-50. Buy the strapping system like I talked about earlier in the video with the system. That way you can just grab that one and put your night vision on it, or you can keep this for just normal use. It's lightweight. It's heavy duty though. I mean, as far as quality, it's really nice quality. A few things I will tell you when I got this that I noticed, and I'll give you a few tricks here. This system here that ratchets down, I could get it on and try ratcheting it, and it wouldn't stay in place. And I thought, well, that's just kind of par for the course. It's airsoft, what can I expect? So I got to looking and see if I could fix it, and I realized this little pad here pulls off. There's Velcro, and there's 5 screws back here. I said, well, obviously there's something going on in here. Let's see what it's about. So I took all 5 screws off. Lo and behold, there was a center screw. Once you take this plate off here, this cover plate, there's a center screw right here. And I thought, well, maybe that's loose, because it was obviously involved with this knob. So I tightened it down, and all of a sudden, hey, It works. So again, a little trick: if you find that your system is not tight enough, try figuring out if you can fix it like that. That's what I did. As soon as I tightened it up, man, it works fine now. It works perfect, so no big deal. The other thing that I came up with on these are the pads. The glue they use that holds this, this is kind of like memory foam underneath here kind of feel. The glue was not that great. I took some 3M spray glue. I sprayed this front, the underneath piece, and then let it set up and then put it on. Works fine now. Like I said, it never came loose. It just felt I could grab the corner and peel it up pretty easy. So I said, well, so I just peeled them all off and redid it. Also on this helmet, a little thing that that you may not be aware of. This piece, front piece here, comes out, and then you can run a communications or a comms headset, and you move these apart, and your headband would go in between here, and then you would have your muffs on either side, and then you put it all back together. So you can run either Ear Pro and or some type of comms headset with this helmet. The helmet itself is very good quality. I was very surprised. This mount piece here is metal. Now, when I talk about the confusion with these helmets, Emerson makes one of this is actually a copy of the Ops Core Carbon. They also make one that is a copy of the Fast Base Jump. Well, the one that's the Fast Base Jump, this mount here that would mount your night vision to, is molded into the plastic. So if it would ever break, you're kind of stuck. I mean, there's no way to take it off. I've actually seen a video where somebody ground the thing off and redid it with like a new mount. Well, that's I'm not going to do all that if it breaks. So the better option, in my opinion, is to get one of the Ops Core Carbon. And if you buy one of these helmets, make sure you see 3 screws here. If it has 3 screws, then you know it has this type of mount. It doesn't have the molded in, but pay very close attention to that, because at the time when I was researching all this, I didn't realize it, and I almost ordered the other one because I like the look of the other one a little better, but then I realized what was going on. So I made sure I had one that had these mounts. This mount here is metal. So, all right, so it comes with these rails on the side, and when you get your helmet, it also comes with some attachments. Like here, you could attach a set of goggles. Then, now this unit here, I added, but it comes with like this little Picatinny rail. It comes with the kit that you can add. Now this right here is a Surefire flashlight with an IR illuminator, LED bulb in it. This right here was actually for a weapons mount. I just used it for this. It's a quick disconnect, so you can put it on, put it off pretty easy. They make one specific for helmets. I just happen to have this laying around, and I thought, well, hey, that'll work, and it does. So it's easy to reach up and grab hold of it and that sort of thing. You'll also see these bungees up here, and you're like, what is that for? It's actually to stabilize your night vision. So you can attach this to your night vision to help get some of the wobble out and stabilize it on your head. The helmet did not come with this cover you see. This helmet is solid black, and it has vent holes. One here, let's see, there's, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 of them through here. And then I bought this cover separate, and I just thought it looked kind of cool, and it was able to protect the helmet a little bit, and it broke up the camouflage pattern from being a solid black. They make these in quite a few different colors: black, green, tan, and I think a few of the camouflage patterns. So keep that in mind. But they do make these covers, and they make all different color covers. So if you wanted one, I went with a standard black helmet, and then I figured I could just buy a cover to whatever environment I wanted to switch it out to. Pretty easy. So I like that. And like I said, guys, you can run, there's a rail here, so you could run, a white light on one side, and then your IR illuminator on the other, and that sort of thing. All right, so I'm going to bring you part 3, and but here coming up. But one thing I want to go over, what I did was I bought this. This is a Condor pouch, and this is what I store my night vision in. It's got a MOLLE, obviously, that I can attach it to a belt, chest rig, and so this is what I store my night vision in, and I'll show you real quick. I take one of these like cushion cloth things, and I wrap the unit in it, and that just protects it. and then I take and put it in this bag like so, and then I take this and put right there, zip it up, and now you have a spot for your night vision. And you could have put some extra batteries in this bag. You could do a lot of different things, but this bag fits. Now this bag, if you I'll try annotating the what specific bag this is if you're wanting to kind of duplicate what I've got set up here. And but that's what I have. All right, so in part 3 we're going to discuss the other items I have and why I set it up the way I did, and how you can use this for a hunting application and or tactical application when it involves a firearm. So guys, we'll be bringing you part 3 and here shortly, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please comment below. If you have any experience with any of this equipment, please share it with us. Let us know if you have any positive, negative thoughts on any of this stuff, or like I said, if you've used it, or just your thoughts in general about the video and what we've talked about today. And but I appreciate it, and if you would like, share, and subscribe, and we'll bring you part 3 of the series here in shortly. Thank you very much, guys, and have a great day.